Obviously, Jorja, you're the returning vet. How is this iteration of CSI the same as the original, and how has it changed and grown?
You know, I don't think much is really going to be the same. I think it's really, you know, it's a new day and we're in new times. And I think the show's going to be very reflective of what's happening now, not only in the world, but certainly in the world of criminalistics and forensics. The cool thing for me is that Sarah and Gil are back. That's probably the thing that is sort of the same. But they're even a little different because they've been traveling the world together for the last 5 years and they haven't been under the pressures of being in the lab in Vegas and the tough stuff that you see there. So, you know, they're kind of like light and fun. I don't know. They're kind of like, well, at least in the beginning.
Yeah. Was it easy stepping back into the role of Sarah, or did you have to find her again, you know?
I was really worried that I was gonna have to find her, and it was crazy easy for me to step into that role. I love the character. It's my favorite character I've ever played, obviously, and it was a joy to sort of wake her up, shake her off.
And Paula, you know, we're so excited to see you in CSI because we love you from Barry. But what excited you most about joining this sequel CSI? Like, what drew you to this particular project?
Working with the actors, Jorja, it's such a pleasure day to day. It's such a pleasure. Billy, our showrunner, Jason Tracy. And I'll tell you, we have an amazingly fabulous, kind group of folk on this. You know what I mean? Matt, Mandeep, Mel, we're just so lucky. We're so lucky.
And talk to us a little bit about your new leader role at the crime lab, because there's a new boss in town and she's got to work with these old faces. So talk to us about what it was like being head of the crime lab, Paula.
So I am the youngest daughter, you know, I'm the youngest of 3 girls. So it feels kind of like I get some payback. And I enjoy it. It's just nice being able to, as a woman, you know, sometimes we don't get a chance to just like step into our strength and power in a way that is received and even encouraged. And in this role, I get to do that. And it feels very natural and welcome. And I appreciate that.
But let's talk a little bit about the dynamics between the old school veterans and these new crime scene investigators. What can you guys tease about what's to come? Because we know there's some drama ahead for the season.
Well, I think, you know, there's 2 really cool through lines that you'll see in the whole season. One is a case that we will try and solve throughout the journey of the show. And then the other through line here is every week we're going to have a really amazing, cool, dark, sometimes very creepy storyline that would generally resolve within that sort of 44 minutes that we have to tell the story. It's a lot to try and get into one show every week, you know. But Jason Tracy's done an amazing job, like a true magician at telling new stories in a show that had already 15 years worth of stories, over 300 episodes, and then a couple of other CSIs that also had stories. And the audience is going to get to see new cool stuff that they haven't seen. So that's really exciting. And the science, I think, is really a thrill and a half. Like, I think the science is really the other main cast member of the show, maybe the star sometimes. and the science, even though it's 21 years later, is continuing to evolve, like weekly, hourly. There's new stuff unfolding. So we have this amazing asset of having this technology that's going to continue to show new stuff that we'll get to talk about.
And like, imagine, Alyssa, if like when I take my laptop in or something like that, they're like, oh, you got this last week, and there's like 5 more iterations of it, right? Imagine since the beginning, this started in 20 years ago, how much science has progressed over that period of time. That's where we get to dance. That's where we get to flower.